played these games before. I've played these games before. That will be me telling ignorant souls that want to have a human experience how horrible it was here. So for me, coming back isn't even an option. It's clear to me in every way that this isn't good. The fact that we don't know anything is crazy. To understand how crazy it is that you know nothing. You're playing a game that you don't remember agreeing to play. Do you understand how fucked up that is? You are playing a game that you don't remember agreeing to play. You don't know why you're playing. You don't know why you're playing the game. Sometimes while playing the game, you do stop and think, hey, what am I actually doing? What am I even supposed to be doing? Wait, how do I stop playing this game? Wait, is there really a way out? Or I just gotta play this game? You cannot tell me that that is good. You can't. It's not possible. I don't give a damn how irrational you are. You cannot tell me that that is good. You're playing a game. You don't remember agreeing to play that game. You don't know why you're playing that game. And everyone is saying you must play it. They don't know why they're playing the game. When you say, I know, there's something wrong with this game. Everyone thinks you're depressed. You're depressed. That's why you're not coping. You're like, why is it that when a person makes sense, we say they're depressed? I've listened to a lot of people that have been told that they're depressed. And I would learn a lot from these people. Doesn't matter what they'll be talking about. They'll be talking about, the best experiences that they've had. They'll make a lot of sense. They'll come up with some really deep insights. And you're like, Like, they make sense. Why is it that the people who really, really, really make sense, if they went to see a doctor, that doctor will diagnose them with depression? It doesn't matter what they're talking about. They could be talking about relationships. They could be talking about marriage. They could be talking about school. They could be talking about life. They could be talking about family, friendship. They could be talking about anything. They will be diagnosed with depression. It's like there's a level of realness that you're not supposed to reach as a human. Right? There's a level of realness that you're not supposed to reach. If you reach that level of realness, you're depressed. People who say you're depressed, even if you are not depressed. Like I have dealt with depression in my life. That was the worst time of my life. Right? I know real depression. I know what it's like to have the craziest thoughts that a human being can have because you're depressed. Like shit that wouldn't make sense to you now will make sense because of the amount of pain that you're feeling. I'm not a fan of Jordan Peterson, but he said something that I felt was true. Uh, this lady asked him about depression, like if he's ever dealt with depression, and he was like, I felt like if they give me the option to cut off my hand and they said your depression will be gone, I would have taken that option. Depression is no joke. People will be willing to do anything to get rid of that depression. Anything. Like depression is no joke. I'm talking about not being able to sleep for real. Maybe just I don't know, fall asleep for maybe like a minute and wake up and be like, what the hell? And try to sleep again, fall asleep for a minute and have some really messed up dream, and you wake up and you're like, damn, you can't eat anything. You literally have to force yourself to eat, and you can't really eat that much. You don't want to sit in one place. You don't want anyone around you. I remember when I was depressed, there would be people who would, because I had a studio, so be people who would come and record. And I hated it. Just that they paid me. So I was like, I'll do it, but I'll tell them. Like right after doing it, I didn't enjoy it. So I was like, no, they gotta leave because some people would overstay their welcome, right? I just wanted to be alone and think. I know depression. When I say I'm not depressed, I really mean that I'm not depressed. Because I know real depression. What I've realized about me is that I'm so honest. I'm honest in a world where it is taboo to be honest. I'm real in a world where it is believed. This is an unspoken rule actually. Like you mustn't be real. You know what I mean? Like everyone is turned off by people being real about things that they are not ready to understand yet, right? Like people will appreciate you if you speak the truth, if they are ready for that kind of truth, or if they were waiting for that kind of truth. You're like, yeah, that guy makes sense. You could agree with me on a lot of things, but if there's something that you're not ready to understand, you'll start to hate me if I tell you something that you're not ready to understand. It doesn't matter how truthful it is. That's how humans are. It's just that most of people who watch my videos are ready for a lot of truth, right? But the average person doesn't really want truth. That's why some people will say, I'm depressed. You're like, there's a chance that I'm handling my emotions better than you are handling your emotions. I'm just real. Calling this a hell realm, because it is a hell realm, is in a sign of depression. It has nothing to do with depression. It has everything to do with honesty. If we were in Hunger Games and I said we are in Hunger Games, that wouldn't mean that I'm depressed. It would mean that I'm honest. That, yeah, we're in Hunger Games. This is some BS that we're experiencing. Imagine If you were in Hunger Games, but it was taboo to say that you're in Hunger Games, you have to pretend as if you are having a good experience. And of course, in any game that you can play, whether it's a good game or a bad game, there has to be winners, there has to be losers. To determine whether a game is good or not, you must first figure out who's actually benefiting and why was the game created in the first place. You must figure out if the people who are playing the game actually wanted to play the game. I mean, if the people who are playing the game didn't consent, the game is bad. Like, you, because there isn't anything that we agree as a collective that should be done to people without their consent. It's only if people cannot give consent that we're like, yeah, it's okay. But if we know a person can give consent, especially if it's something that comes with lots of responsibilities. We've agreed as a collective that we cannot force someone to go to school if they don't want to go to school just because we think going to school is a good thing. We can't force someone to work just because we think working is a good thing. We can't force someone to be in a relationship just because we think being in a relationship is a good thing. We can't force someone to get married just because we believe that marriage is a good thing. So why do we think that it is a good thing that people are playing this game even though they didn't say they wanted to play this game? And on top of everything, there's suffering. Like, people really, really, really suffer. Every day we're trying to protect ourselves from suffering. Some people are scared of talking to strangers because they don't want to suffer. They're like, yeah, I want to talk to this person, but what if they're mean? That's going to ruin my day. Yeah, I want to try my luck and win some money, but what if I lose a lot of money trying to win money? Yeah, I do kind of like this person, but I got to protect my heart. Like, people are always trying to protect themselves from suffering. In fact, that's what the whole game is about, in case you haven't realized. This game is about you protecting yourself from suffering. That's it. Anything that you do, you're doing it to protect yourself from suffering. Because it's not like there's a, like you were told why you are here, what you should actually be doing. So you're just constantly trying to protect yourself from suffering. On a subconscious level, you're always asking yourself, how can I not suffer? Sometimes you have to hurt other people so that you don't get hurt. That sucks. It's a zero-sum game. We're playing a zero-sum game. And no one really gets to win. I mean, yes, you can manage to protect yourself from suffering, but that's not really winning, because what do you win in the end? You were thrown into a world of suffering and you tried your best to protect yourself from suffering. You're like, maybe if I worked hard, maybe I'll be very successful and I will suffer. I won't suffer the way that people who are poor are suffering. So, but you don't really win. You still suffer. You're always paranoid. When people come into your life, you don't even trust them. Damn, What if this person wants my money? And most of the people who will come to your life will be people who want money, because it will be people who are also on top, you know, who have gotten to the top, trying to not caring about other people's feelings. So why would they care about you? Like that's when you at the top. That's where you'll be dealing with the most fucked up humans. Then that's why Jesus said. That's why Jesus said. I don't know the exact quote, but he said something like, "It will be the blessed are the ones who are poor, because they will see the kingdom of heaven." To become rich, a lot of people had to do a lot of horrible things. So yeah, if you found yourself on top, you'd have to deal with the worst humans. So no one really gets to win in the end. We all just try to avoid suffering. And sometimes we fail, Sometimes we fail. That's why we regret doing some things. We regret meeting some people. Find that there's a person that you met that has hurt you, right? You're like, damn, I wish I never met that person. Because they caused a lot of suffering in your life, right? You don't want to suffer. You hate the fact that you've suffered. You hate suffering so much that you would even have trauma from suffering. Like when you think of the time that you suffered, you suffer in the present. You cannot tell me this is a good game, bruh. The people that you think are weak, they didn't agree to play this game. The people that you think, hey, you're a loser, you. Hey, you should try this, you should try that. You're not doing anything. They didn't choose to play this game. They didn't choose to play this game. So it's a game that no one agreed to play, but they have to play. This reminds me of this other movie called The Tournament. At least, I think the contestant agreed to play. Oh, no, I don't think they agreed to play. What they do, those guys who run the game, the ones who created the whole thing, they will select the best assassins in the world, and then they will put something inside their body, right, so that they'll be able to track them. And it will be very hard to remove that thing. They'll be able to watch them. They had technology that allowed them to watch them, to watch their every move. And they will be in a kill or be killed kind of situation where they'll have to, like, the way that they play the game is that they must unalive other contestant. The last man standing is the one who wins, and they win a lot of money. This pastor accidentally got involved in the game. He was an alcoholic. He was also a pastor. He was an alcoholic. So this guy managed to remove that tracker thing and then put it inside an alcohol bottle of alcohol, and then the pastor drank it, and he found himself in a game. That's life. If you find yourself playing this game, I don't want to, because there are a lot of things that we do that are horrible. A lot of things. Most of us had to eat animals. A lot of people who became vegan in their lives ate animals in the beginning. It's not like they were vegan in the beginning. It's like a lot of things that you might find yourself participating in even though you later realize that that's just, I was participating in things that are really messed up. Some people, it becomes so numb that they're like, doesn't matter. A cow is just a cow, you know what I mean? But when you really think about it, the game is so messed up that humans have to eat animals, and they have to convince themselves that that's good. It's good that the game is played that way, you know. Like sometimes we just need to be honest. This is not about you being a you being a vegan or not being a vegan. I don't judge people who are not vegans, but we still need to be intellectually honest. You know, look at the cycle of life. Look at how things work. You know, how do you feel when you see, you know, a gazelle getting attacked by a lion, you know, or a young gazelle getting attacked by a lion, and the mother is watching? How do you feel? Do you really think that the mind behind the whole thing is gay? Do you think it's a beautiful mind? Do you think it's a healthy mind that's behind this thing that you call life? You think it's a healthy mind? Because animals suffer way more than we're suffering. You know, at least we're trying. You know, at least, even though things do happen in this realm, but I don't wake up and feel the kind of fear that a gazelle will feel. Like, it's different, right? It's different for a human. Yes, sometimes you can be unlucky because there are cycles in this world. You can be unlucky. I've been in situations where I almost got robbed. I've been in situations where I almost got stabbed. I've been in a situation where I almost got shot, right? I've been in situations where I almost got involved in an accident. You know, you never know what's going to happen when you go outside. I mean, even if you don't go outside, you don't know what's going to happen even when you are at home. You know, some thieves can break into your house and, you know, unalive you or beat you up, leave you messed up. That does happen. You know, the fact that anything is possible in this realm is scary. You know, like the fact that anything can happen, the fact that someone can open the door and maybe attack me, you know, that the fact that that's possible is scary. That should make us wonder what kind of mind is behind the whole thing. And it does, the whole thing does feel rigged. As human beings ain't even equal. We're not being treated equally by people. There are some people that we like better than others simply because of their looks. Look at the person, you just like them. And if you don't like them, it's because you feel like you can never look that good, so you're just jealous. But your jealous is actually coming from admiration. You just feel like you can, so it's still you loving them in a way. You just feel like you just can't be like that, you know, because sometimes people who are very attractive will say, yeah, it's not like people don't hate us, and yeah, but you also try to figure out where the hatred is coming from. You know, some people are born in rich families, so that means they have access to a lot of things that they want, you know, things that you don't have access to. You see how unfair the game is? So the game starts when you're born. And some people have access to a lot of things, and you don't have access to shit. This reminds me of this, this post that was trending on TikTok. This January, this Tonga lady wrote on Facebook. She posted this kid. The kid, I think the kid might have been 5 or 6. 6, yeah. She's going to first grade. But you could see that she comes from a poor family. You know, when a black kid from a village is poor, like you can just see, you know, the way that they're dressed, the way that they look. You can tell that they weren't eating good food. And you can just tell by looking at them. So from that picture alone, you could see that, yeah, the kid comes from a poor family. So that girl posted that picture and wrote, and she wrote that, yeah, this one is just gonna hustle for stationery, and that post trended. A lot of people were offended, but it also was kind of funny. But you could, like, it hurts you, but it's funny, right? It's like, I understand her sense of humor, but this is also painful. As the kid comes to me, professor, she has to, and there's some truth to that she actually does have to hustle for things. Some kids, yes, their parents uh, buys them, their parents buy them everything, right? But some kids, they have to look at these kids who have everything and, yeah, try to get things from these kids. You know what I mean? So that's what the post meant. So some people laughed and cried at the same time. It's like, yeah, this is painful because some of us were that kid. You know what I mean? That kid that didn't have the things that they wanted and they had to get these things from, you know what I mean, from other kids. But that shows you how unfair this game is, because some kids have everything, some kids have nothing. Some of y'all grew up being mistreated by people just because of how you look, and you didn't choose how you look. You didn't choose your looks, but people are mistreating you. People are laughing at you. You were bullied when you were young. You don't even have confidence because of the amount of suffering that you had to experience just because of how you look. You see, you're suffering not because you're doing anything wrong. I want you to understand that. Because sometimes people tell themselves that those who are suffering, they're suffering because they deserve it. It's like they don't know how bad, how horrible this game is, right? It seems to me that some people, those people that end up being angry and doing horrible things because now they're angry. It seems to me that the world somehow like the mind behind this thing wanted that. Because we all know that if a person is not being treated right, they do get angry. And when people are angry, sometimes they do bad things without even, and they feel justified, right? They can do horrible things and they feel justified. Some people have been treated so poorly by life that all they know is how to hate. They can't feel love anymore. They don't feel love anymore because of how badly they were treated by life. If everywhere you go, people are not treating you well. Maybe in the beginning you were a good person. Maybe in the beginning you were playing the game fair. You wanted to be good to people. You wanted to help people. But they treated you like shit. And it got to a point where you started hating everyone. You didn't want to hate anyone. You didn't want to be a villain, but you don't know how to love anymore. You don't know how to be the good guy anymore. It seems like some people were just destined for nonsense. Or some people were destined for greatness. It sucks. And then those who are destined for greatness will say, hey, I work hard, I work hard for the things that I have. Yeah, there were people who lived where I lived who didn't make it because they were lazy, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, damn, these creatures are so damn ignorant. And that makes it all worse because we're ignorant. There's this guy, he's Tongas from my tribe. He has money. He got money because he got involved in a car accident, and they gave him money, and he started some business that actually, worked. Now he has money. He's on TikTok bragging about his success. And there's this video that was trending last week. He was saying that if you are 40 and you don't have a car, you're not married, you're not making money, you have nothing. If you just exit, because you're useless. That's what he said. And a lot of people were offended, like, and I would say that, okay, sometimes people do reason, right? And then maybe they're able to see the truth because they are in that situation where they tried everything and it just didn't work. So they felt like they needed to defend themselves because they know that it's possible to try so hard and not make it. But the guy is so damn ignorant. Like, he doesn't realize that if he didn't get involved in a car accident, he probably wouldn't have made it. He didn't make it because he was a hard worker. Like, when he got involved in a car accident, he maybe he didn't even have a direction in life. Maybe he didn't know what to do with his life. And he's not very, like, you could tell that he's not educated. You know what I mean? He's just like everyone that he's disrespecting. But he doesn't realize that it's luck. He got the money that he got by luck. I mean, yeah, getting involved in a car accident isn't fun, I know, but chances are he would not have become successful if what happened to him didn't happen. See, when people become successful, they start to think that those who are not successful are just stupid. You start to feel like that. Like, you don't recognize your own luck. Like, dude, I was lucky. If I didn't find myself at the in the right place at the right time, I wouldn't be where I am today. People don't recognize their own luck. That's why people brag about their success. I used to look at people like Andrew Tate and be like, man, this guy is supposed to be smart. Like, he doesn't know that as a kick, like, it was possible for him as a kickboxer to get a brain injury. It has happened to some kickboxers. Not because they didn't train hard enough for the fight. They were just fighting a person who was a bad opponent for them stylistically, and they got knocked out. It really does boil down to luck. You not being homeless, that, it's not because you were making the right decisions all along. Sometimes you do make mistakes. You have found yourself in a situation where you could have gotten hit by a car, but by some miracle you didn't get hit by a car. Are you gonna say it's because I'm smart? It's luck. You could have ended up homeless for real. You could have ended up in a hospital for real. You could have ended up sick for real. You could have ended up getting shot for real. So it really does boil down to luck. And that really does make this game horrible, especially considering the fact that no one chose to play this game. No one said yes. No one said they want to play this game. Yes, there are people who are playing this game who feel as if the game is good. But of course, there will be people who feel as if the game is good. The same way that some people like soccer. I don't like soccer. I don't like soccer. But there are people who like soccer. They watch soccer, they play soccer. I like MMA. A lot of people who don't like MMA. You see? we cannot all like the same things. That is why consent is important. We mustn't feel as if a person doesn't like something that a lot of people seem to like, or a lot of people are being forced to like. If they are honest and say, I don't like it, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them. We cannot all like the same things. And when you think about how things work in this realm, you realize that all of us are being forced to like this. Because we're being told this is good in so many different ways. Since we were young, since we were in primary school, they were telling us, they were having a good experience here. The religions that people believe in, they've been told by the leaders that they're having a good experience, or this is necessary. So even if they're told that this world is bad, but they are supposed to believe that this is necessary. So they become hypocrites, like a Christian who would have a baby. Because really, if you really believe hell exists, why create a baby? But let's be honest. Let's just be honest, It sucks that, look at this example that I'm gonna give you now. The person that you love the most in this world, if you had to choose for them to be put in this situation where there's a 50% chance that they could burn for eternity, and a 50% chance that they would experience life, like the greatest joys, in life. Yeah, they will experience like the greatest, like they'll just be happy. Would you put them in that situation? You're like, that there's a 50% chance that they could burn for eternity and suffer. There's a 50%, like, you wouldn't want to put the person that you love in that kind of situation. But yet, Christians who believe that hell exists, who believe that some people will be sent to hell and burn for eternity, not having children. I mean, come on. Does that seem real to you? Does that like, sometimes when we think about it, like, this can't be real, man. Like, people cannot be that ignorant. I mean, they're telling us that they believe that the Bible is true and all of that. And yeah, God doesn't send people to hell. Like, they say the most ignorant shit. That's why I don't feel like this shit is real. Sometimes I just step outside the box and just be like, okay, this shit isn't real. Like, it can't be real. This can't be possible. But I do feel like to understand, or like to break free, you have to analyze everything in this realm, right? You must analyze everything. Like, before you detach yourself from something, first analyze it, first learn about it, try to understand it, and then you detach yourself. Because once you see the truth about the things that you want to be attached to, or things that you're attached to, you will automatically want to detach yourself. So that will make it easy. It's hard to detach yourself from something that you feel like is good for you. So if you feel like something is not good for you, it's very easy for you to be like, I'm detaching myself from that, because that's not a good thing. There needs to be honesty. But even if the world is not honest, be honest with yourself. Be real. Yes, it is true that when you are operating at a high level of consciousness, you are honest with yourself. Everyone will be turned off. Just like I was telling you, that there's a certain level of realness. When you reach a certain level of realness, a lot of people just won't fuck with you. So you've got to be fake. There are things that you're not supposed to talk about. There are things that you're not supposed to say. You're supposed to pretend as if everything is okay, even if nothing is okay. Because if you are honest about things not being okay, you're the bad guy. How can you tell people that this is not okay? Oh, you're just weak. Even if you're stronger than everyone else, they just think that you're weak. Because they already convince themselves that they're having a positive experience. So those who feel like this is not a positive experience are just not strong enough to do what is necessary for them to have better experience. Like, that's how a lot of people feel. They look at things that way. Oh, you're just weak, man. That's why you feel the way that you feel. If you weren't weak, you wouldn't feel like this is a hell realm. You said this is a hell realm because you're weak. It's survival of the fittest. So if you're not fit, of course you're going to suffer. And society still want to carry those who are weak. So you will just suffer because society will carry you, but it's not going to make your life better. You have to fight to have a better life so that you stop suffering, so that you stop feeling like this hell realm. But nah, that's not the real truth. The real truth is that this is actually a hell realm. It's just that there are things that you can do to find yourself in a better situation. But that doesn't mean that this is not a hell realm. Just like, the example that I gave you earlier, that if you were in Hunger Games and there were rules that if you follow those rules, you'd find yourself in a better situation. That you being able to follow the rules correctly doesn't mean that you're not in Hunger Games. You are still in Hunger Games. You're just playing by the rules. You just know how to play the game. So you are getting the things that you want because you are playing the game the way that those who design the game want you to play. But that doesn't mean that you're not in Hunger Games, is it? So you being able to play this game doesn't actually mean that we are not in a hell room. Yes, it is possible to make things better in your life. It's possible to make money and find yourself having access to a lot of things that you want. But that does not mean that we are not in a hell realm. You see, that's the lie that people tell themselves. But like, look at me, look at my life. I remember I saw a comment like 2 weeks back. This other lady was saying she doesn't view this as a hell realm because her life is better. She used to feel like it's a hell realm. I'd be like, you're only looking at your life. That's the problem. And you don't even realize how lucky you are. You don't realize that you're lucky. To even say, to even feel the way that you're feeling, that's luck. Even if you work very hard in your life, if you're in a good situation, that's luck. Don't think it's hard work. There are people who are working hard. There are people who are trying their best. People who are giving it their all. So you must be able to realize how much luck has played a role in your success in this realm. Being ignorant doesn't help. It's the most ignorant people that are actually causing suffering. Those who are honest, those who who are real, they are able to see what is actually happening, and they are able to come up with the right kind of solutions, right? They try to act in ways that make things better. See, if you are conscious, you make things better in this realm, and the Matrix doesn't want that. People who are conscious are actually making things better. It's people that are unconscious that'll be making stupid decisions, that'll be ruining things for everyone. Because, even if you are living your life right, a person who's operating at a low level of consciousness can ruin your life. You know that. You could protect yourself from harm. Tell yourself that, you know what, I'm not going to do things that are harmful to other people, to me. I'm going to protect myself, at all costs. I'm going to go to the gym, make sure that I don't get sick. I mean, you cannot guarantee that you won't get sick, but at least that will improve your health. I won't drive while drunk. I won't even drink alcohol. I'm going to eat right. Yeah, I'm going to punish myself just to make things better in my life. If it means that I have to not go to a party because I'm working on a business, and this business needs my attention, I'm going to work on it. Like you could do everything right, and someone ruins your life. Someone make you a cripple or something. It will be a person who's operating at a low level of consciousness. Maybe they just enter your house, they're trying to rob you, and they shoot you, and now you're a cripple. It's a person that's operating at a low level of consciousness. It's people who are operating at a low level of consciousness that are making this experience hard. Those who are operating at a high level of consciousness, they are making things better, not just for themselves, but for everyone. But we don't get to win because we do exist with people who are operating at a low level of consciousness, and there's nothing we can do to change that. You see, that's how nature wanted things to be. There has to be those who are operating at a low level of consciousness, and there has to be those who are operating at a high level of consciousness. There has to be those who are black, there has to be those who are white, there has to be males, there have to be females. We're not even supposed to understand one another. You can see that we've been set up, because how can we truly have peace if we can't even understand one another? It's a setup. The fact that we can't even agree on what religion to believe in, or if there should be a religion that should be followed. Some people, don't even believe in religion. Some people don't even believe in spirituality. But some people do believe in religion. Some people do believe in spirituality. You know what I mean? Of course, we're not going to understand one another, and we'll find ourselves fighting because some people, are so sure about what they believe that they feel like everyone must believe what they believe, and those who do not believe what they believe, and those who are saying that what they believe is nonsense, those people are their enemies. They're bad, and they deserve to suffer for that. They feel like they're being attacked when people tell them how they feel about their beliefs, because they're so sure that they're right. You see, it's a setup. There are people who watch my videos and be like, yeah, that guy is evil. But like, yo, that guy is being used by the devil. And they convince themselves that I'm evil, and if something bad happens to me, that will be good because I'm evil. Like, they'll look at it that way. Because they're operating at a low level of consciousness. If you're operating at a high level of consciousness, and someone doesn't believe what you believe, you don't think that they must suffer because they don't believe what you believe. If you're a Christian and you see a Muslim suffering, you shouldn't feel like, yeah, you see, now they should realize that the religion that they believe in is wrong. Like, no. You must feel sorry for that person. I mean, sometimes it's hard to feel sorry for people, but when you're operating at a high level of consciousness, you understand that we can't really blame anyone. We should just try to set ourselves free, because even those who are operating at a low level of consciousness, they didn't choose to operate at a low level of consciousness. They're just not conscious. What should they do if they're not conscious? If there are things that they just don't understand, if there are things that they just don't get, what should they do? Should they force themselves to understand things that they do not understand? They don't. What we must realize is that we don't even have free will. And that makes it worse. We don't even have free will. So you can't tell me that this is a good game. There are games that are bad. But this game that we're playing is the worst game that we can play. Because we didn't choose to play it. That's what makes it worse. The fact that no one chose to play it. If people chose to play it, and they knew that they chose to play it, it'll be a good game, you know, because those who want to play it will be the ones who are playing it. Imagine being forced to play soccer if you don't like soccer. I don't like soccer. I don't enjoy myself when I'm playing soccer. Imagine if I was forced to play soccer and I just didn't enjoy it. And some people say, "Oh, you have depression. You have a mental illness. That's why you don't enjoy playing soccer." Like what? No, there are things that I enjoy, but I don't enjoy playing soccer. Why do we believe that everyone must love soccer? If you don't love soccer, then there's something wrong with you. We must be honest, and we will be able to see the truth. Thank you, guys.